Hi, Sister Mankole. Where's Nadia?
Nadia is on, President Rebecca.
It's me, President Mankole. It's not Rebecca.
Oh, President Debbie. President Debbie.
Yes, yeah, let me bring her.
President Mancola, you can start. Please unmute your mic.
Your Excellencies, I'm Nadia. Are we through with the introduction? Are we having our song?
Yes, already.
Okay, President Nadia is breaking up a bit. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome everybody who has logged in. May I, as per tradition, this is World Women Leading Change, and let me observe the protocols that are in place, and would like to kindly invite Her Excellency Princess Debbie to kindly open the forum with us, or her being the President of Africa, delegate somebody for a word of prayer as we start this afternoon's conference. Your Excellency, Princess Debbie.
Yes, good afternoon, President Mankole, the President of Lesotho, the Deputy President of Africa, and in all the guests in this platform. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Yes, President, everyone is welcome. However, if all of us can we really start with the word of prayer. Heavenly Father, in the wonderful name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we are in this platform as a family of World Women Leading Change with our diverse talents, gifts, and Lord, utilize our gifts so that it can be able to touch people around the world, and everything that is going to be shared and everything that is going to be said this afternoon, this evening, this morning, Father Lord, it should be able to edify and be able to revolutionize people's lives. In the wonderful name of my Lord Jesus, can everybody say amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Princess Debbie. I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the World Women Leading Change and the management thereof. President Nadia from Indonesia, she's been the moderator and coordinator of this conference. I could hear that the line was not very clear, so I will continue. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a conversation around education. Education is a key factor given the pandemic, given the rollout of graduates, given the lack of employability that is around. We have come to a point where we're asking ourselves, are the programs relevant to industry? How can we best improve ourselves? How can we best integrate different types of skills in our learning frameworks so that we have employable graduates? Not necessarily employable, but maybe those who can actually employ. This is the main conversation for this afternoon. Before I go any further, for those who are new in the forum, it would really be appreciative if, I don't know if Nadia's mic is okay, could just have a brief introduction of who World Women Leading Change is, what World Women Leading Change are. President Nadia from Jakarta. It looks like we can't get through to Nadia. Your Excellency, Debbie, would you like to take this opportunity? Because we have speakers and people who have joined us with the very first time who have been in this forum with us.
Oh, okay, President Mankole. Yes. You want that I must say who is in this platform? I'm sorry.
No.
I was.
Who? Well,
yeah.
World Women Leading Change. Who are we and what are we doing? Because I see there are quite a number of people who have never been in this platform who have joined this afternoon.
Let me just check where is President Lesego, because I cannot share the screen. I was going to share the screen just to elaborate further through the screen. But anyway, let me just, okay, just hold on. Okay. Okay.
While President Debbie is getting her connectivity corrected, I just want to formally introduce the speakers for this afternoon. We have Professor Hambozul Nami. I hope I'm pronouncing it wrong, right? Habonhlamana. This is the Vice Chancellor for the Revealed World University in Rwanda, Burundi. Please, Professor, do correct my sincere apologies. We also have Dr. Diro Habonima. Thank you very much, Professor, and my apologies.
Yes.
We also have Dr. Diro Mampane. We would really appreciate when you make your presentations that we see your beautiful and handsome faces. We will also have a presentation from Dr. Irene Sehopolo. Dr. Mampane is from Botswana. Dr. Irene Sehopolo is also from Botswana. And we'll also have a presentation from Dr. Makutu, who is from Lesotho. These are going to be our speakers. Thank you so much, Dr. Irene. These are going to be our speakers who are really going to be more catalysts than actually speakers. This is going to be a very interactive conversation, and World Women Leading Change encourages that we have conversations to build each other up, and then we can improve our network, improve our quality for continuous better service delivery in all what that we do. With that said, I didn't want to take over from President Debbie. Your Excellency, are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready, President Mankole. I will, but later on, I'll just try to reveal my face. My name is Princess Debbie Dineo Raputi from South Africa. However, the World Women Leading Change, the vision was brought in Africa by the dynamite young lady, President Ayla Al-Jufri. She is also a professor. She is also an academic at her own way, and she is in the real estate. She's a real estate guru, and then this was introduced here in Africa. And when it was introduced in Africa, we managed to have we touched different people in Africa. The coordinator of Africa, the one who's coordinating us, is President young dynamic woman here in Africa, is President Murudu, Rebecca Murudu, and President Mankhole, as she speaks. She's an advocate of education. She really, advocate for issues of education, of skills development. We knows that she is a trotter. You know, when you phone her, sometimes she's in Lesotho. When you phone her, she's already in Botswana, you know. And thank you so much that I met her. Very nice person, very wise, vested woman. And we are having also our footprint, and that is Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Kenya, South Sudan, and we used to have our young lady, Emilia from Burundi, but she said that we must give her a break. She's going to be part of us. As we said, we are having also footprint in different parts of the world, Australia, Indonesia, as we said, that is President Ayla. We in China, all over, and we've got also ambassadors. I can see we've got President. We've got our peace ambassadors, Mphomo Tapo. She is also based in South Africa, but also in Botswana. And in Lesotho, we've got also, they are twins, the other twin sister. We really want to thank her. She also represented us. She stays here in South Africa, but she also having the roots in the US, but she was in Monaco, as we also had some program in Monaco. And we know that we are having different sectors. And this sector today is the sector of education and skills, as we know that without education, there is absolutely that we can do in this world. That is the fruits of education that brought us here today. We've got technology, we've got arts, creative arts and culture. I spoke even yesterday that we must be very creative. This is the time that we should wear things that were designed by people here in Africa. I don't know Louis Vuitton. I don't buy his product. I'm not interested, because why should I buy somebody's label that I don't know, who won't even embrace me? This is about time that we should wear, things that were designed by the Mankoles, that were designed by Nandipas, that were Normas. This is the time that we should wear our labels and be proud of them. And that is creative arts and culture. And really in order that we should be able to grow our economy with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. I spoke yesterday that we've got 7 biggest rivers here in Africa. Those rivers, they can be the structures that we can use to ferry our goods, all over Africa, those seven rivers. And over to you, my sister. I don't want to talk more, but I'm so excited that we are going to talk about the most important thing that shaped the world: education. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. With that elaborate and very informative introduction, I just want to once again remind the forum that we're here at Education Leading Change, talking about training quality and relevance of youth employability in Africa. Maybe the time has come that we should have a conversation about the type of education that we're having. The time has come that we should roll out and say how relevant, especially given the new normal. What is it as educators that we need to revisit, re-engineer, and re-strategize? And this is the whole essence of World Women Leading Change. I notice Dr. Makutu, your hand is up. Please go ahead, sir. Dr. Makutu.
I give Doctor.
Dr. Makutu, your hand is up. Is it, there's a reaction? I think I just chased him away now. It's okay. This is just to set the tone. I would like, please, for all of us who are not speaking, to have our speakers on mute as I usher in Professor. Professor, kindly be welcome to this forum. Please introduce yourselves, not as brief as you wrote your introduction, but introduce yourself, the organization you represent, and please go ahead with your presentation, sir. Ladies, there's something that's happening here. When I ask Dr. Makutu, he disappears. The professor is gone. Maybe salvaged by Dr. Tiro Mampani. Dr. Mampani, could you kindly share your thoughts with us? And we would love to see your lovely face, please.
Good afternoon, all. Even though I thought I would be the second or the third speaker, since it's my first speaking in this forum, but I didn't prepare any presentation. I will just talk more around education. I'm Dr. Tiro Mampani from Boitekanelo College in Botswana. I started and founded Boitekanelo College, which is a private health training college in Botswana, which focuses mainly in training of healthcare professionals or healthcare personnel. In Botswana, we do have various programs that we offer to our youth. And I'm very proud that we are talking about education, because education is very close to my heart. I truly believe that it is through education that us in Africa can develop our countries, develop us as personal level, but not only that, that we can start living better lives in Africa. We all know what education has done. Our four founders, the likes of Kaunda, the likes of Nelson Mandela, have emphasized on the importance of education and what education can really transform and change people's lives. So I really wanted to start on around why do we need education and what is the role of education in our
Dr. Mampani, you've muted yourself, sir.
sorry about that. This technology, somebody was talking behind, so I was trying to manage them. So like I said, in terms of education in Africa, it's a very crucial and instrumental thing that we must have our youth being developed, being equipped with the necessary skills so that they can compete in this 21st century world where there is a lot of competition. But what is nowadays important about education is we must also instill an element of entrepreneurship within our learners so that our learners can not only rely on our government in terms of employment, but so that they are also able to go out into the world and create. If we look into what is really the advantage of the first world countries, you take examples of what is happening in the USA, in the Silicon Valley, all those things that are happening, they are happening because we have got universities like Stanford University, which grooms and builds entrepreneurs who are then able to contribute positively to the economy of the USA. And as we all know, according to Economic Forum, one of the key ingredients that contributes to economic development is entrepreneurship, is education, and is health. So all these three components combined, they do contribute positively towards economic development, towards economic growth, and towards sustainability, and towards job creation. So with those few remarks, that's basically how I'll start our conversation.
Dr. Mampane, as the poster did clearly state that I myself am working as a facilitation consultant, and I'm currently working together with Bitiganela College and facilitating focused on based on education, focus on working and that the world should be led by innovative education. As we have realized that the new normal has brought totally new scenarios to us right now. Thank you very much, Dr. Mampane. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the ambassadors who are joining in as we're going along, and any yes, I acknowledge the ambassadors who have been joining in the meeting, and I see President Debbie Raputi, President Rebecca. Yes, Ambassador, President Rebecca has logged off again, but she was on. And we also have Ambassador Levy. You're both welcome, sir. At this juncture, I wish to invite somebody from another country, which is from Lesotho, Dr. Makutu. Kindly share your thoughts with us with regards to the topic being given. Dr. Makutu. The floor is yours, Dr. Makutu. Kindly introduce yourself and share with us this afternoon's thoughts. Dr. Makutu, we await your presentation, sir. Ambassador, you please mute your mic.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. Makutu, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
You can't see me. Hey,
yes,
technology.
Speak on the
Can
video.
you see me now? Is it on?
Yeah, I think
No.
Prof. President Mankole, I'm sorry. I'm just giving an advice. Can Prof just show his face now and then just close it for, for connectivity? Yes, we can see you, Prof. I can see you, but hours of the view, if you can also, when you speak, just close it for connectivity purposes. If ever you don't, if you don't have any challenges with connectivity, it's okay. But if there is a problem, then you can close your face.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
To Makutu? Yeah, no, I don't have connectivity problems. My problem is connecting my presentation.
Okay, no problem.
Now, I would like to share that, but I'm not sure whether the host is enabling me to. There's nothing here. Yeah.
Nadia? Nadia, could you assist Nadia?
Have you got it now?
There we go.
Is it on the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
And can you, well, you don't have to see my face, it's not too beautiful. Should I start?
Please go ahead, Doctor.
Well, thank you again, Chair, and I want to thank everyone for allowing me to share my ideas with you. My name, as I think Mrs. Tach said, is Tolang Makutu. And although I am supposed to come from Lesotho, but right now I'm talking to you from South Africa, but in a town just across the river. So I'm very close to Lesotho. But I originally come from Lesotho. I am a Lesotho myself. Now, the topic of my presentation is vocational education and youth unemployment. I thought that was more or less in tune with what the theme of the conference is. Now this thing is slightly slower than I thought. I don't know whether I'm able to. Okay, I'm going to the next slide here says the presentation will introduce the topic, and the topic, of course, I've already said it earlier, is vocational education and youth employment. And I think I should have said youth unemployment because it looks like most of the youth here are unemployed. Then the presentation will go to state the purpose and the context of education in Lesotho. I will highlight what is called challenges of TVET education in Lesotho. And TVET, I think in the later slides, I will show what TVET is. And I will then compare our situation in Lesotho with the German education system. And I guess here I might have to say that the main interest, of course, is looking at the vocational side of it. So even though I'm talking about, I might seem to be talking about secondary education, but the idea is to look at the general education. And of course, I will lead to conclusion. Now, here I'm going to contrast and compare and contrast the Lesotho education system with the German education system. And as I've just explained that, of course, I'm looking at the Germany as it is and not just secondary education. And I must caution us that we must, however, guard against comparing apples with oranges, in that we are contrasting a developing country with a developed country. But my thinking here is that if there are lessons that we can learn, then we can learn lessons from each other. Now, what I've written there as MOOT is the Ministry of Education and Training. Now, and the Ministry of Education and Training sort of came up with some policy in 2008. That's hence the preference. And that policy was meant to push, so it was meant to make, to enable learners when they leave, the people, school leavers, when they leave school, they should have some skills and competencies that they would, so that they can get employment when employment. But here in the introduction, you'll see that the picture in the city is quite bleak. Looking at the graduates, in 2018, there were about 4,000 graduates in Lesotho that couldn't find employment. And Lesotho is not a big country because it's a country of about 2 million people. Now, of course, the other statistics shows how bleak it is, but our focus here is on youth education, youth employment. And you'll see that we are seeing that about 32% youth, about 33% youth were not employed. That is according to ILO. And the Germany on the other side, I've not put that statistic here, but you'll find that Germany has an unemployment rate of 6% compared to this one of ours. Now, I must say that there was a reason why I chose Germany. Initially, I sometimes write articles or the opinion columns in the newspaper, and a group of people asked me to write about Germany. Hence, that's how I picked Germany. So I thought maybe I could present that in this meeting. Now, let's look at the education in Lesotho. Lesotho, they introduced what you call the Lesotho Qualification Framework, and that is supposed to guide the curriculum application. Now, my choice of looking at that, of course, is that the qualification framework has 2 tracks. It has what we call that academic track, and also has what is called the TVET track. TVET being technical and vocational education and training tracks. Now, the academic tracks will have the normal academic subject that the traditional subjects, and the vocational track, the purpose of that, as we say, is to supply adequate, to supply artisan into industry. The policies aim to develop work-related competencies in students so that when students leave school, they are ready to work. But if you look at the statistics in Lesotho, that's where you will be surprised. Lesotho, about 2 years ago, it had about 140,000 school students. And out of that, remember we said it has 2 streams, the academic stream and the vocational stream. But you'll find that only about 3%, just over 3% of the students go into the TVET column, which means that in itself, we're already failing ourselves there because it's not enough students who goes into that. But a student carried a master student research some time ago, and on Lesotho secondary TVET curriculum, and she found some kind of what I thought was quite serious that we have to look at seriously. One of the things that she found was that curriculum itself of the TVET education was not aligned to alleviate the Lesotho demands. It did not alleviate Lesotho unemployment and poverty demands. So it didn't serve that. The curriculum, the school leavers did not have the relevant practical skills and the experience that are required by industry. Of course, it makes sense why we did not serve the demands of the country. Secondary education seems to, and that's what I said, that majority of the students seem to go into the ones that goes, the track that leads them into higher education, and not the track that leads them into this. So we don't have enough students that will go into that. And then what is said is that the TVET curriculum is stagnant. There's little improvement. It lags behind the Lesotho developmental needs. Now, this lady actually made what I thought was a serious recommendation that our Lesotho education system, they should place a workplace apprenticeship. They should try to make it compulsory. Now, of course, what you find is that most of the students do not have that. I think I will just leave the latter 2 points and go to the next slide. Now, of course, Lesotho tried to copy, they tried that differentiated education system, but of course, our education system is unitary. Most bulk of the students, more than 90% of the students go to the academic session. Now, comparing this to the German system, they practice completely different things. When students start school, the first 4 years, the primary education, they do the same thing. But when they go to secondary education from the 5th year, something is different. Students will then be placed into different types of secondary education based on their ability. It sounds cruel when you say you are going to differentiate students based on their ability. But what you'll find is that actually it worked very well with the German. Now, the teacher training is aligned to reflect the kind of education they have. They don't have more or less that unitary education that we seem to have in Lesotho in teacher education, where you can teach anywhere you want, apart from being a primary teacher or secondary teachers. You can teach anywhere you want. Whereas in this one, the teachers are tailored, the training is tailored towards whether you're going to teach in the mainstream, which is the academic, where they teach academic subjects, or whether they're going to teach in the vocational subject or in the hybrid of the two. Now, one other thing that we know is that the German educational system invests quite a lot in their apprenticeship programs. You'll find the partnership here you'll get partnership between the government, industry, the banks, they will support that, and the parents. So everybody supports that. And the curriculum is tailored according to what the curriculum needs. And if you want to go to further studies, the higher education system is also tailored around that. Now, the amazing statistics about the whole thing is that what Petrosky here found is that in 1989, about 3/4 of the students in Germany, around 3/4 of school leavers aged between 15 and 25, most of them had experience, some kind of an experience in apprentices. So they easily find work. Then if you compare that to what we have in Lesotho, which is about only just above 3%. So if we look at the German education system and the low unemployment rates, I think one can say that we must do something ourselves to see if there are any lessons that we can learn from there. And of course, I shouldn't leave the opportunity to say that by comparing Lesotho and German, I'm not saying that Lesotho should come and mirror the education system. I'm still want to argue as a Lesotho and as an African that it's high time that we should own our own education. The knowledge that we produce should be produced by us. When we recontextualize that knowledge into your curriculum, we should do it ourselves. It should be Basotho that do it ourselves. It should not be dictated from outside. And of course, whatever that we teach in the institution should be us. In other words, we should get away from using, people will talk about the language that we use in the classroom and the atmosphere, everything that we use, that we should be ourselves, we should teach we should design what we want to teach. And of course, the way we teach it should be up to us. We should own everything that we do ourselves instead of copying from others. But at the same time, of course, there are lessons that can learn. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me your ears. That's the end of the presentation. I hope I was not talking to myself.
Wow. We were all ears, and I will definitely invite questions at the end of all the presentations. I think this is most relevant, as we can see that vocational in the sub-Sahara, at least in Africa at large, the vocational education, there is a gap. How are we going to continuously improve ourselves? Because we are no longer training people to be employed. We are enhancing and improving skill development. We are working in a very different global village now. And what is it doing to re-inject this into our curricula, into our education system? Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you.
You may stop sharing the screen now as we usher
Yeah,
in
Yeah, stop share. Okay. Is it gone now?
It's gone, Tate.
Yeah, Uncle tried to teach me, but it wasn't too good.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Professor is back. We humbly welcome you back, Professor. And I just want to jump in and welcome you back and ask you to please share your thoughts and believe and pray that connectivity shall remain stable. From Rwanda, Burundi, Professor, please introduce yourself and share your thoughts for this afternoon.
Thank you. Princess, good evening. Dear President of World Women Leading Change, all speaker on this platform, the dear guests, good evening. My name is John Baptist Habonimana. Habonimana, it means God sees. I'm currently a professor, expert in leadership and organizational management, and I'm also a born again since my childhood. So when I was a teenager, so I'm a servant leader. Currently, I'm serving in the capacity of Deputy Vice Chancellor of Revealed World University, and I'm also the Dean of Faculty of Leadership and Business Economics. I'm in training in different lecturing nationally and internationally, either in English or in French. So I'm bilingual. Also in the kingdom, I'm serving as the Joshua Generation movement worldwide, and currently I'm in the capacity of Africa Continental Chairperson. So I'm really thanking the Lord to get this opportunity to share some thoughts on how education is really leading the change worldwide. And on this subtopic of training relevance and this capacity building for youth to be more employable in Africa. So here I'm going to start by quoting Nelson Mandela when he's mentioning that education is really a powerful weapon that can influence the world and also have great impact. So education is really fundamental if we want to have great impact in Africa and worldwide. So education is fundamental. I'm to share first the 5 key criteria that should be focused on when we want to have really great impact. So the first is to establish clear learning objectives in our trainings. What are really the clear learning objectives? So the second element is targeted content. What are really the contents that we are using to empower or to enhance capacity building? The 3 elements is to consider delivery options. What are really the delivery and enhance such capacity building? And the 4th element is the monitor, assessing and tracking results. How are we really monitoring the training progress, and how are we assessing the results? The 5th point is post-training support and the learning reinforcement. if we recapture all this, in Africa, particularly for youth, today we have to capture that our curriculums that many Africans have been using previously were not really contextualized. Because yes, some may have, for example, learned some curriculums designed outside even Africa with maybe different goals, different objectives, different learning objectives. So as we are really talking about quality training, it's really important to focus on being practically trained, because today the youth, they may have some degrees, but on the works, how are they really demonstrating their competencies? How are they demonstrating that they have really capacity to accomplish business results, organizational results? It's really a challenge. So through Revealed World University, today, we are really focusing on enhancing capacity to prepare our youth to be really relevant on the workplace. That's really very, very crucial. And today, we have also to know that we are in a shifting paradigm from analogic to numeric. That's the reason why even such a platform is one of the examples. With the COVID-19 pandemic, now people are no longer able to meet face to face, but with the development of new technologies, it's possible. People are interconnected. We can easily connect from Burundi, Rwanda, Lesotho, and other countries worldwide easily. So to join as Africans with the new technology, it's really very, very easy. And one of the things that cannot have frontiers is education. So we should really be with open-minded to be ready to learn, to continue to learn, and to learn what is really relevant. Because to accumulate knowledge, it's not really relevant, but to accumulate knowledge that will enable us to demonstrate our competencies, our capacities on the workplace, that is really more relevant. And today, our youth have also to be equipped in enhancing their capacities by taking advantages of new technologies. So to learn with the new systems of advancement of new technologies is really crucial, fundamental. And also to be aware that the learning is really a continuous process. Because today, what is important is not only to have degrees, but what is important is to remain up to date in terms of capacities, in terms of skills. And here, we have to acknowledge that education is really an ongoing enhancing of capacities, because we may even say, do not stop learning, because the life never stop teaching. So a youth of Africa today, to have more impact, we have really to learn from even how the life is teaching us. Maybe in the future periods, those adult people like myself may be considered as BBC people. So BBC as acronym, this can stand of born before computers. So we could not really see the importance even of advancing in computing systems skills and be able to learn. But today, all those who are really educated without having such capacities, even to use computing systems, they are really out fashion. So they are not up to date, which means to be able to be employable. Yeah, it's really fundamental to be also relevant and be able also to know new technologies. So the young generation today, to be more employed in the modern era, they should be really Wi-Fi generation. So the generation that is really equipped in new technologies that are using new skills with social media, being able to research even on Google, even able to read online libraries. For example, you remember in different libraries in Africa, you may see in different libraries that books are only on shelves. So there is a say that's mentioned, if you want to hide something to Africa, just put it in the book. So today, those who are not really enhancing on a regular basis their capacities, they are still behind. So the young generation today would advise them to remain continuous learners and to read much. And today, many worldwide resources are online. So do not hesitate to search and to be up to date on different medias, on different websites. So the young people today of Africa should really be up to date. So I would like to come back on the opportunities that Africa we have. Today, young generation should be aware that Africa continent is really a continent that has the greatest number of youth. And this is not really a problem, but it's really an opportunity, because such young generation with such skills and with this eagerness to continue to enhance their skills, they will be really more productive and achieve more results. Because the problem is not to get a job, because the skills they are gaining will also allow them not to be a job seekers, but a job creators. Because this former educational system was really training many Africans not in order to create jobs, but in order to seek jobs. And as Kiyosaki has said, in the category of people, employees, most of the time, will not really achieve their financial freedom. So it's better even to go on the other step, not only remain employees, but also to become an entrepreneur. So not only an entrepreneur, even to become an investor. But yes, as an employee, you acquire experience, but this will allow you to acquire professional experiences. But after, try to manage your time appropriately, because the great resources is your time, is your energy, is your skills. So after being an employee, look for becoming even independent, self-employed, consultant, and try to manage appropriately your time, because time is money. So do not miss this reality. Time is money. So as a youth, be ready to be practical and achieve highest results as you are still young. It's really very, very crucial. And never never stop learning and be a continuous learner and be practical. This is really fundamental. So I'm closing this remark by also showing that as Africans, we are also the only continent that has the mineral resources other than other continents. We are also a continent that has a green land where you can easily cultivate. It's also a continent that has really a good climate. So we have many opportunities that when our youth will take advantage on all those issues, it will really be fundamental in our education. Also, in our education, be aware that we'll always need interchangeability of different facilitators, because some are talking this language, another one another language, but the different resources will not be a limitation, but an opportunity. So let's be united and enhance our education so that we may be really complementing each other and develop our continent. So thank you very much for your attention and welcome in enhancing our education, because education is really central. May the Lord bless you so much, and may the Lord enhance skills of our youth and promote the future generation that will no longer be in such a shame, but that will influence not only Africa, but the whole world. God bless you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for a profound and detailed presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, World Women Leading Change is privileged to have such well-informed and learned people. It is for this very reason that we have set this network for connectivity, for networking, so that people in the very same people in this forum should get together at the background meetings and carry conversations forward. Earlier, it's been alluded and very clearly said, vocational education needs to be revisited. It's not only relevant to the island in South Africa called Lesotho or the Sub-Sahara. The professor has eloquently shared with us the impact and the importance of curricula, how we need to re-engage, how data-driven decision-making is now the thing of the 21st century, how Internet of Things have put us in this forum. We've also heard from Dr. Mampane, who's a medical doctor by profession and an entrepreneur by running the college itself, the importance of education and how we need to re-engineer ourselves. How do we integrate? What is communication? How do we ensure that when our children and ourselves are continuously on the tablet, on the laptops, where does the human face, where those human elements and the conversations and the communication skills, how do we bring those aboard in this 21st century? With that, I would like to usher in Dr. Seropolo, who will give her perspective on this topic. And I would humbly request her, and thank you for representing the women. This is a World Women Leading Change, but this meeting has been led by men. I don't know what my sisters are gonna think of me. However, there is no woman without a man, and there's not a man without a woman. Dr. Irene Seropolo, I know we have overshot our meeting time by a few minutes. May I pressurize you and ask you to keep your conversation within 7 minutes to allow the participants to share their thoughts, to have a conversation around what has been discussed. Dr. Seropolo.
Mankole, Takisi. I hope I'll keep to the 7 minutes. Let me briefly introduce myself. Yes, I've been partly introduced. I'm a lecturer at UB, University of Botswana, and I'm in the communication and study skills unit. I teach academic and literacy skills, business communication, health communication, development communication. And yes, I had prepared something, but because I've been told to just limit all that I had, my thoughts sometimes are wild, and I'll try and keep focused. When Professor Habonimana spoke of lifelong skills, I thought of, made me think further, because I've been thinking about it, that, perhaps some of the things, I could be wrong, that are lacking in our curricula is that maybe some disciplines do not really rigorously teach students to learn how to learn, because that's the key thing to students being able to actually adapt to different situations, whether academic situations and even the workplace. Now, teaching them how, learners how to learn, the lecturer or teacher being a facilitator of learning and knowledge. And a lot of times when we teach in class, I've seen it with some disciplines where, there's a 1 hour lecture and we prepare PowerPoint slides and it's one way, when teaching, when we should be focusing on the learner. So here, I'm just thinking that learner-centeredness is very important, where we consider the needs of the learner. Do we actually, when we design courses or curriculum, do we actually really go deep into what the learner needs? What are the gaps? The learners should also be able to have a say in the design of a course, in the design of a curriculum. What would they like to learn? Maybe this is far-fetched, and that reminds me of Freire's critical pedagogy, when, Freire was quite critical about, the curriculum being one-sided and leaving out the learner in the process. So if we do think of task-based learning, problem-solving, problem-posing methods to facilitate freedom of creativity and transformation, maybe the graduates that come out of our tertiary institutions, I'm talking particularly tertiary, because when students come from primary and secondary schools, we are expected to really mold them to be employees of tomorrow, or to be their own employers. Now, and that goes on to, when we set out tasks for our students, do we actually think of making those reflective and inquiry-based, so that students should learn to be critical learners, to be critical thinkers, to be creative, and that will perhaps contribute to the lifelong learning. When they start at tertiary, when they are able to work on their own, when they are able to solve problems and be creative, that they will take when they leave university. Now, Mankole mentioned communication skills. I often, because I teach communication, and I find that it's taken too much for granted by disciplines. I'm coordinating health communication for the Faculty of Health Sciences. We're in the process of reviewing our courses and programs at UB according to the Tertiary Education Council of Botswana's suggestions and some needs assessments that have been done. And for us to be accredited by the Botswana qualification authority, we need to actually, as Professor Habo Nimana kept mentioned about, what competency, what are the competencies, what are the objectives. So back to communication skills. So we find that when we design, when programs are designed, communication is just given as just a minimal slot. And yet employers, because yes, I know we are maybe vouching for vocational education, but I'll just say employers always complain that the graduates that come out of tertiary cannot present themselves well. They lack communication skills, interpersonal skills. And this is because at our university, for example, communication is taught at first year only. And what we believe is that these skills must be developmental so that we prepare them adequately for the world out there, the real world. They must have social skills and self-confidence. And we try by giving them at first year, all of this is, put into that 2 semesters. We try and use a project-based learning approach for active exploration of real-world challenges and problems, and we try and encourage them to investigate and respond to complex questions, and we give them scenarios, they develop portfolios, but how can you hope to achieve in 2 semesters of 8 months? So I think I'll end here because once I start, I find it difficult to stop. Maybe it's just my plea to other disciplinarians to actually think of injecting communication, interpersonal communication, and take it seriously. Yes, we are now going digital, and the human face, already some students actually, when they evaluate us, they complain of this too much digital because they are also learning and they're getting used to it, but they wish there would be a human face somewhere or the other. Thank you very much. And
Wow.
my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sohopolo. That was very informative. We are running very tight on time. We have approximately 9 minutes for us to keep running this meeting. And at this juncture, I would like to invite questions, comments on the conversation that we've had this afternoon, because we are embracing a new era. This is the time of the year when tertiary institutions generally are having new intakes. We're looking at being more innovative. We're looking at a different employee who may be able to be effective working from home. We're looking at different scenarios of changes, and we've had experts from different angles. Above all, the health factor, where the health factor is so important, what COVID-19 has presented to us. That is why we had people from the health science universities, so that we should maybe start thinking that we need to integrate each and every program with some knowledge on health-based programs. How do we connect? How do experts on this forum connect and empower each other? We have the Nandipas, the international fashion designers on the forum. We have other people who are in different institutions. How do we take this information from World Women Leading Change? This is the whole purpose of World Women Leading Change. How do we build each other up? Because we have only one future, and our future are our youth. With that, I would like to invite, with a show of hands, anybody who would like to ask a question to the presenters or to anybody on the floor. Yes, Ambassador Mpo, please go ahead.
Okay, mine it's not necessarily a question, but it's a comment also to say that we need integrated studies. And as Professor Habonimana had said, we're living in an age of fourth industrial revolution, so you need to know to be computer literate in every way, having to use digital libraries, digital this and that. And I would say also as human beings, and like you rightfully said, we are now living in a time of the pandemic, and the health studies are equally important. And I know that when you're dealing with people under general, you're supposed to have some basic knowledge of what to do should somebody get sick or so. And in some industries, I know, like in the tourism industry, when you're dealing with passengers or packs, as they are called, you're supposed to have a certain level of first aid, just so you know how to handle the people that you are dealing with and working with. And I've seen that in education, for instance, like the teachers or in the teachers training colleges, they don't have that as the most basic requirement, even though teachers many times do take children out to camps and things like those. And sometimes the camps end up with tragedies because the teachers don't have these skills, they don't know what to do when children really get into difficult situations wherein they would need basic first aid. Yeah, that's all that I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Mpho, for your contribution. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Dr. Tolang Makrutu, your hand is up. Dr. Makrutu?
Yeah, I'm trying to connect this. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for allowing me to make a presentation here. I just wanted to make a comment or two, and maybe the people can respond. One of course is to Professor, the comment that he made that we were born before computers. Actually, and the professor made his talk. He made some about students having to we should not teach students to be job seekers. They shouldn't be job seekers, but they should learn to become job makers. Now, my comment to that is actually, I agree with that in totality. But my comment is that the way we teach ourselves, I'm not sure whether, can you hear me? The way we teach, the way we ask questions to when we teach, the set of questions that we teach these students are the ones that really, apart from the curriculum itself, are the ones who are setting these students to learn whatever they have in order to achieve what they want to achieve. We often tend to teach these children foreign things that have got nothing to do with them. Instead, Professor mentioned the kind of stuff we have. Our courses are not aligned to to that abundance that we have. So to me, it's high time, and I think in my presentation, the last point that I made, where I said Africans, we should be actually the one who generate the knowledge, who decontextualize the knowledge into curriculum and teach. And the way we should teach, of course, is such that we should lead. These people should. Where I used to work, we had a site flying out to Cape Town. And my question was always, Cape Town a couple of years ago, it had a severe drought. And it was almost, even though we are living next to the ocean, it almost ran completely out of water. And we had a satellite flying there, and that satellite helped us didn't help us in anything to tell us, to warn us that there could be such a disaster in the near future. So the point I'm making is that we should not try to create mass on earth. We should teach things that are relevant to us. And just a quick one to Dr. Sekgopolo, that I really agree with that we don't, our curriculum does not have say. The students have no say in it. And part of that say, the simplest one, we have students coming from different places in our classes. I'm not trying to say that we should exclude students from other countries, but we have students coming from different areas. We know the kind of students that we have. That information is there in HEMIS, the Student Information Center. But we know a lot of institutions, they never know which student they're teaching. And I'm just saying that we should know the students. That is the only way that, and the students have the voice that they express what they should learn. They come there because they want to know what they want to know. They should not just learn what you want them to learn. Thank you very much, and I'm very sorry to take it longer than I wanted to.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, Nandipa, can we have Nandipa, please? And then President Debbie.
Hello, thanks very much. My name is Nandipa Matigiza, and I really feel honored to be part of what is happening. I am a trainer myself, and as Karabo has already said, I'm in fashion, and so I'm training people in fashion and textile design. And I do appreciate, and I agree entirely with the speakers, especially Professor Habonina, when he says we should train our learners to be not to be job seekers, but to be job creators. Just to add on that, what I would like to say is, just at that point, it means government has got to step in and assist our learners how to start businesses. And obviously, when you start a business, finance is required, information is required. Our governments should really try and make things easy for them to go into business. It's pointless asking a youth to come with collateral when he goes to the bank to ask for a startup. And things like that are just totally out of order. And our governments should really support them, support the youth so that they can be able to move forward. Another thing that I would like us to share as Africans, I'm not sure about this, but it is happening in other parts of the world and it's working, cooperatives. Here in South Africa, we talk a lot about cooperatives, but we've got so much problems within cooperatives. And maybe as Africans, we should go deeper and see where we are going wrong. Is it a cultural thing? Is it an economical thing? Or what is it? And let us correct it, because no man is an island. You can't keep on working as a machinist on your own. You need to work with other people so that you can be able to move forward. So we should have situations like that where people are guided. And I agree when the doctor was talking about interest and guiding learners. Yes, some, our youth have got a tendency of going with fashion. When I say fashion, I'm not talking about clothes. What is happening? You'll find a lot of them wanting to go into music. Whether they've got the talent for that or not is on the next page. So when they come for training, they need to be guided. They need to be tested. They need to be shown other things that they can do within that music. There's nothing wrong in being a musician, but there are other things that you can do, technology and other things in music, rather than a person picturing herself being a Beyonce. Because if that doesn't work, then they become frustrated. And yes, let me stop and give others a chance. Thank you. And way forward. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Nandi Pamadigiza. Your Excellency Rebecca, I saw that Ambassador Majapela had wanted to say a word. Your Excellency Rebecca, Debbie, could you, Mutebeja? My
Yeah,
apologies.
no,
Um,
President
Mankole,
Mankole.
we've,
Yeah, right.
um,
I hope, because we are the World Women Leading Change, and we have invited professors, and even our founder, President Ayla, she's a professor. And we can start the first women university in the world, because our founder is a professor. It is about time that as women, we must start revolutionizing whatever that we can lay hand in. And we must also set policies, as my sister, Ambassador Nantipa, have already said, about when young people, when they want to venture in business, they ask them collateral. We can make it to happen, but can we start the first world women university through the World Women Leading Change? And all the professors that were speaking here today, they can lead the faculties of that university. I thank you. Love and light, Debbie Dineo Raputi, Princess President of World Women Leading Change in Africa. I thank you.
Thank you so much. This just communicates to me that this topic is not over yet. We need to get all the speakers who have spoken. We have to network, and who knows, maybe a well-integrated institution of higher learning may come up and spring up anywhere else, because we're technological savvy. We have had inputs from Lesotho, Botswana, Rwanda, and Indonesia. Your Excellency, Professor Ayla, are you in the house?
Yes, President Mankole, how are you?
I'm fine, President Ayla. We just wanted to acknowledge your presence as the founder and the brains behind World Women Leading Change. Would you like to say something as a way of saying thank you and good night and good afternoon to the forum that's here? And I do promise, Excellency, that I will have another conference on this line.
First of all, I want to say thank you for my President of Africa, Her Royal Highness Princess Debbie, and of course, exquisite panelists and yourself, and to all the people that here tonight and coming and show up and listening. So we already have Women University. We actually doing a free education for the whole pandemic time. We have conducted about 276 classes. Until today, we conducted about 300 classes. Every day we're learning. Today I learned about amazing things in Africa. Every day we are learning, because learning process is a continuity. And I like what Professor told me about leadership. I think we have to start with leadership. And we have to start with empowering the youth, not to looking for a job, but to be the entrepreneur. But when I started my business, I wasn't a professor, but I come back again to study because I needed to know, and I needed to find out I needed to measure. I needed to measure, because education is all about measurement. I need to measure, and I need to monetize that measurement. What are the changes? that I made in my life. How can I impact other people? And the fact that this is very sad that suicidal is the second death cause in the youth. This is very sad. What happened in the youth? Why they become so fragile? Why they become why they don't have the risk? If you don't want to take the risk, then you're gonna be hired by somebody else who take that risk. For example, these COVID things, right? We will have to live with COVID. We need to accept it. COVID now is, we have to live with it. How can we get out of it? We need to add the immunity. How do we add immunity? We have to be happy. We have to, all these things is connected. And believe it or don't believe it, my whole life, my entire life, I come out of my house, I don't have a degree, I speak zero English. I'm not saying today I'm a super successful, I'm still struggling and learning every day. But I have conquered as a young third world country living abroad, and I have the courage to pursue my dream. This is important. You need to pursue your dream because you live one life. Do you think you have any other life to pursue your dream? And what are you doing? You are doing other things. Pursue your dream and stop when it's finished. Not stop when when you don't have nobody give you money to start. No, stop when you finish. If you don't have the money, you have to start to being creative. How to get other people put the money for you. See, this is the thing: mindfulness, leadership, and change. I'm very sad because I do a lot of research, and imagine our youth second death rate is suicidal. In India, a lot of cases of rape. In Africa, a lot of teen pregnancy. So this is the poverty issue that all the business people have to come in, and they have to teach how do they do it. That's why in WWRC, a lot of women that have already going through that 22 years, they have monetized and measured their skill set. They have to teach. I'm not saying that education is wrong, but skills. I think my success is not because I'm a professor. I'm a professor after I decided I'm gonna half retired, because this is what I have to say to the world. But I think this is important to have a skill set, especially soft skill. How can you get out of this mindset of your own? Because your only enemy in this whole entire life of yours is your mind. You say, I'm not gonna do it. It's too far. I'm not gonna make it. Or you listen to other people who will discourage you. Muhammad was discouraged. Jesus is crucified. And saying it's doubt. Can you imagine? And a lot of great people are having a lot of setbacks. It's not just you. Everybody have setbacks. How you move forward, that's more important. So education is my passion. I laugh because when I was young, I don't have money to go to school. I don't. I leave school very young, and in fact I have to work for an exchange of food. So this is my story, and I think it's important to have these changes of mindset, leadership. Thank you. Love and light from Bogor, Indonesia.
Wow. As usual, Professor Ayla, you keep re-injecting more life into us. This is the power behind World Women Leading Change. The first lockdown during COVID-19, Professor Ayla networked friends, women, and said, wake up from your beds. You may be locked in, but not locked out. This is the foundation and the backbone of World Women Leading Change. We meet practically on a daily basis, re-engineer, communicate, re-energize ourselves. And Professor Ayla has done an amazing task to bring investors, people with the resources, people with the ideas, and network us together. This is the platform to be part of. This is the reason we're here this afternoon, to have a fresh look into education and what we're educating for, who we're educating, for what we are educating. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually overshot our time by more than 30 minutes. I would like to humbly call on Nadia, and we have our song, and we just thank, and we will be in touch. And those who want to be part of us, please be in touch with me. I'm President Mankole. President Mankole is representing Lesotho in this forum, and I'm a facilitation consultant, currently working with Witwatersrand University, and we intend to change the Sub-Sahara and the world and Africa, and bring a new level of appreciation into health sciences, how they are integrated. This fora shall move on, and we shall keep on keeping on. To my distinguished presenters, Professor, Dr. Bambani, Dr. Sohopolo, Dr. Makutu, and to all speakers and participants who have been here, those who spoke and who do not speak, I wish to thank you. Good evening and good night and good afternoon. Nadia, could we have our song just to remind our guests who we are, where we're going? Thank you very much. Our anthem, please. Is President Lesego in the house? Princess Debbie, anybody with our closing anthem?
President Nadia? Nadia? I don't know, it's Nadia. President Lesego was not well. Ambassador Nadia? She's not around. No, it's fine. We can just tell them what is the meaning of the song. The song, it was a discovery to say that we are having 7 continents. Is needed is about peace. What is needed is about love. What is needed is unity. And we can conquer. It is only through love that we can be able to extend our humanity. It is only through unity that we can be able to extend our appreciation and love to one another. That is the importance of the song. That is the legacy of President Ayla as the founder of World Women Leading Change. We know that song is part of culture. A song is also part of expression. So we know that even if a President Ayla leave this world in another life, but that song will still remain, that there was World Women Leading Change and the founder was President Ayla from Indonesia. With love, Debbie Dineo Raputi, I think.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, distinguished panelists, and good afternoon and good evening for those who are on the other side of the continent. Can we have our goodbyes, and it'd be nice to take a picture. If you could show your...
Thanks for the valuable input. Before you leave,
I think President Mankole, we need this session again. That was so powerful, and thank you for such powerful speakers that you brought. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It would be nice to have a picture shot. Dr. Mampani, especially the panelists. Thank you, Osimpo. Could we have our videos on so that we may be able to take a picture? Dr. Mampani?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Monica Letoha, thank you so much for the support. Oh, my husband was part of this. Thank you, my husband, Daniel Tahi. And my sister here, and me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. That was good.
I notice you as well. Team Boto, I also acknowledge you. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you and bye.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye, Sis Nanji.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Good
Sis
night.
Nanji.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.